Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have our Forbidden Door 2024 results and review. We just got done watching the show. Very good main event. Lots of stuff to talk about, lots of great matches. How'd you feel about it though, overall?
Yeah, and we had three really good bangers. And then we had, some good ones outside of that, and then, maybe some not so good ones as well. We'll obviously get into all that. We had a cool return. Some title changes, so pretty exciting card. Not everything that we expected sort of happened, or at least didn't happen the way that we thought it was, so pretty cool that kind of the way it all turned out.
Yeah, and we're going to quickly skim over the pre-show. Kyle Fletcher beat Serpentico. Malachi and Brody King won the four-way tag match. Willow and Tam Nakano beat Chris Statler and Momo Watanabe. Mariah May beat Saraya, and the Lucha Bros and Mystico defeat Yota Tsuji, Titan, and Hiromu Takahashi. But yeah, that's the pre-show. Going on to the main card now, and we started off with the Long Island favorite MJF, where he defeats Hechicero in a pretty solid match. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty good match. Pretty short for a MJF match, I guess. You would expect, the hometown guy who's just kind of returning to have a longer match to be able to just have more in front of the crowd, kind of. But it did come in at a little bit under 10 minutes. But pretty good match all in all. MJF does, of course, get the win here. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah,
I really enjoy this match. Hechicero is one of those guys who, through AEW now, I was one of the guys I want to follow through and keep watching him outside of AEW, because he seems like he has a funny personality while also being a heel, but he's also crazy athletic and can do all these crazy moves. So yeah, definitely enjoyed his time in AEW. Hopefully he comes back for more matches, because I definitely enjoy just his matches and stuff. But yeah, really fun match. MJF does get the win. This kind of does remind me of last year's Forbidden Door, where MJF beat Hiroshi Tanahashi, and it's kind of just a filler match in his road as the champion. But yeah, good match. On to the next one. We had the Elite defeat Anthony Bowens, Max Caster, and Hiroshi Tanahashi in a pretty solid match. What do you think, though?
Yeah, I didn't get too much from this match, I'll be completely honest. Not that it was bad, of course. It did come out pretty good for what it was. But I did, I guess, expect a little bit more from it. But all in all, not bad. Just right at 13 minutes, so not too long of a match. So I'm not really going to complain about it, but I did expect a little bit more.
Yeah, this match was solid in my opinion. Nothing too crazy. But it was just, a solid match between everybody involved. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I expected. Didn't expect nothing too crazy. I would expect maybe one or two crazy moves, and we didn't really get that. But all in all, it's kind of what I would expect from a match like this.
Yeah, a lot of Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. And then at the end, Billy Gunn kind of comes make a save after they're going to kind of go after Tanahashi, and kind of all three just kind of beat him up after the match, basically. And Billy Gunn came and made the save and ran out the best tag team and single star in AEW. So yeah, that was that. That's how that one ended. But, outside of that, our next match is probably, I can see how it would be a lot of people's favorites, and that is Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi, and by submission, Bryan Danielson wins. So definitely not, I guess some people may have expected a submission win, with Bryan Danielson, and they did also have a match back in 2010 that I did see. I watched some highlights of it, and that ended in submission. So pretty cool, I guess, callback to that maybe. But really good match. Definitely the first kind of banger of the match that kind of woke me up and put me on my feet a little bit. But yeah, really good match here.
Yeah, I really enjoy this. Love the clash of styles between the two. Bryan Danielson, obviously this technical wizard basically in the ring, where he just can do almost anything, and Shingo kind of like the hard hitting, but also can keep up with Danielson in the ring. Really early on in the match, we also seen Danielson kind of sell the neck a lot and just sell his the moves that Shingo was doing, which were really powerful. And yeah, really enjoyed this one. One of my matches of the night, and like you said, one of the good way to start the show and have a big banger and pretty early on. Yeah. And also Danielson will be fighting Pac on this week's Dynamite as well at Beach Break, I believe. So yeah, should be another good match. Next up, it was followed up by Toni Storm defeating Mina Shirakawa for the AEW World Women's Champion, and what was actually a really good match. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I didn't mind this match too much at all. Pretty good. One thing I will say is I didn't really care for the ending, I guess. I know a lot of people may have been happy, I guess, that they kind of all came together as like a little trio love triangle kind of thing at the end. But I was kind of more expecting a turn of some sort, whether it be Mina to Mariah or Tony to Mariah or Mariah to Tony, or just some sort of turn between the three in some sort of way. I was sort of expecting that to kind of build that story into All In and have that as the title match, which obviously still can happen, just didn't happen tonight. But all in all, like you said, pretty good match. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think with this is kind of almost solidifies that Mariah May will win the Owen Hart tournament. I think that was already kind of written in the stars already, but now I feel like this almost confirms it. It was kind of funny just to see them all. Mariah just giving them all to hug, and then they kissed as well, which was pretty funny. But yeah, pretty good match. Really enjoyed it. Mina Shirakawa, somebody similar to Hechicera. I want to watch more matches of them outside of AEW because they did put on a really good performance on the night. But next up, we had another pretty good match, and this was Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Orange Cassidy. Another great technical match. What'd you think?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think this match may have went on maybe a little too long because it did feel I'm not want to say sluggish because they were both they're some of the best wrestlers in the world, but it just felt a little slow paced, I guess, for a Zack Sabre Jr. match, even an Orange Cassidy match, and also was no it wasn't really the big spots. We did get a big Superman, or Orange Punch, I should say, from Orange Cassidy to Zack Sabre Jr. He sort of no-sells it into his finisher for the win, and that's kind of, that's kind of how it ends there. But yeah, really good match. Zack Sabre Jr. obviously one of the best in the world, up there with the Will Ospreys and everybody, in my opinion. But yeah, just maybe not my favorite match. Maybe went a little too long. Maybe I was just a little tired going into it a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one, especially the ending. Zack Sabre Jr. gets Orange Cassidy and looks like an octopus where he has every limb in control, and where Orange Cassidy can't do anything about it besides tap, which is a really just cool, like almost crazy looking like submission hold from Zack Sabre Jr., which is one of the things that you have to kind of get used to if you want to watch that style of wrestling. The more submission is just you have to almost be you have to do crazy stuff like crazy submissions to really get the big pops, and Zack Sabre Jr. is a master at doing that.
Yeah, and that was our second submission of the night, and funny enough, still will not be our final one either.
Yeah. After that, it was followed up by Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata defeating the Learning Tree with Jeff Cobb. It was an alright match. It's a Chris Jericho match in 2024, so you know what to expect, but Jeff Cobb and kind of carried on their side, and Samoa Joe and Shibata carried on their side as well.
Yeah, I mean, for what it was, did really good. Chris Jericho obviously playing into the heel character, heel/face character, kind of like this weird dynamic with his character, kind of, where he's kind of waving to the crowd, he's being nice to everyone, but then kind of destroying them in the ring and doing like dirty antics and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of big bill in this match. But yeah, not a whole lot to go on about here. Was kind of looking forward to seeing the no-look spot from like Hook, how he's been doing recently. Was hoping to see maybe a little bit of that. Didn't unfortunately get it. But yeah, pretty cool match for what it was.
Yeah. And after that, it was followed up by the ladder match for the vacant AEW or TNT champion, where Jack Perry does manage to come out on top and retrieve the belt. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of crazy spots here, especially from Mark Briscoe. He had a spot where he has the ladder set up kind of on the apron of the ring. He goes all the way up, and he kind of has like an edge fall down where he kind of lands on his legs. Looked a little scary. Landed on top of
Jack Perry.
Yeah, Jack Perry. Table still didn't break somehow. Kind of confused on that, considering he like flew from 30 feet in the air and the table didn't break still. But yeah, that was kind of like a scary spot. I believe it was also Mark Briscoe who did a dive onto Takeshita through a table and a ladder. Really crazy spot there as well. But you basically got all the spots that you would expect to get from everybody. We've seen El Phantasmo throw, I believe it was Dante Martin, kind of gave him a power bomb through a ladder. Just really crazy stuff. Jack Perry does come out on top as we predicted. And yeah, he is now your new TNT champion.
Yeah, I pretty much everybody in this match did get a little bit of offense and got a little bit of shining moments. I would say besides Leo Rush and El Phantasmo, that kind of had like a few moments. Leo Rush did like a dive through the ladder to the outside to Takeshita, which was pretty cool. And El Fantasma took probably the craziest bump of the night, where he sets up 2 tables, and Takeshita does a Blue Thunder Bomb through both tables. It looked nasty, one of the best Blue Thunder Bombs I've seen. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed this. At this point in the night, it's probably my favorite match of the night, to be honest. Yeah, really enjoyed it. It was probably the right winner in long run, even though I think a lot of people wanted Takeshita to win, or even Mark Briscoe. But at the end of the day, it was kind of obvious that Jack Perry was winning this match.
Yeah.
But next up, probably my most surprising match. I didn't know what to expect from this match, but one of my favorite matches on the night, and that is Mercedes Moné defeating Stephanie Vaquer for both the TBS champion and the New Japan Women's Strong champion. How'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, this is probably my match of the night. Maybe it'll be the main event. We'll kind of get into that later. But I think with this match and how it ended, we got a big surprise return that we'll get into as well after this match. But yes, Stephanie, like you kind of said, with Hechicero, she's one of the people who I will be going back to check out her, because this, like I said, is going to be my match tonight. She looked like an absolute star. The way she kind of carried herself to the ring, her just movement, her just the way she talks, she seems like a star. Would love to see her on AEW TV, period, just signed to them, because yeah, she looked like an absolute star, absolutely amazing in the ring. My favorite match of the night, on a card with Will Ospreay, on a card with Bryan Danielson, with House of Black, with MJF, the Lucha Brothers. Like, there's so many people on this match, and for them to put on a performance like they did tonight and take match of the night, that's a big calling for her. So yeah, Stephanie Vaquer, definitely going to be going look more up of her, because she's amazing. But Mercedes does get the win. And yeah, this was her best match in AEW by far. And now she is your new double champion. And I'll kind of let you get into who returns at the end and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah, so after Mercedes does get the win, she kind of celebrates the belts. She has both of them on her shoulders. She puts them up and she starts dancing, but then their music cuts off. Then out comes the doctor. DMD Britt Baker is back. She returns, gets the full entrance, and seems like she'll be challenging Mercedes Moné very soon, most likely at Wembley, for at least one of the belts, probably the TBS champion, I would imagine. But yeah, really cool to see Britt back. I know a lot of people are kind of torn on how they feel about her, whether they think she's overrated or whatever. Me and you are both pretty excited about her return. She's somebody who I thought was missing and could fill like another spot in like that women's roster, just have a big name fill into the division, because I feel like that's one thing the women's division is kind of lacking in AEW.
Yeah, it's definitely lacking a little bit, and I just sort of got into Britt Baker right as she got injured. So it's very cool to see her come back, and for me to be kind of excited about someone else in the women's division outside of Mercedes or Toni Storm, because those kind of been the two sort of carrying the division, with Julia Hart gone and other people being hurt or injured or just not shown on TV as much, like a Sky Blue and whatnot. But yeah, so definitely really cool to see Britt Baker back. Can't wait to see her versus Mercedes. I think that'll be an absolute banger, and yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah, we'll go back on the Stephanie Vaquer match, or about her. She looked amazing in this match. She pretty much dominated like majority of this match until like the very end, where Mercedes does kind of start getting momentum, and then she does hit the finisher to win. But yeah, Stephanie put on probably the best performance of any wrestler of the night, and definitely somebody who, after this match, I hope she's talked about even more, because I know her name is brought up in like the discussion of best women's wrestlers right now, but definitely she should be higher in those talks, because she looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But next up, it was followed up by the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion match, where Jon Moxley put his belt up against Tetsuya Naito, and he does lose the match, and Naito is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, probably one of my not so favorite Jon Moxley matches as of recently. Usually Jon Moxley always performs, and it's always really good. But maybe this match just wasn't my type of match, the way it was kind of slow paced and whatnot. But yeah, not my favorite Jon Moxley match. Wasn't very familiar with Tetsuya Naito as well, so maybe that had something to factor into that. But not bad by any means. Just not my style. Yeah,
I don't watch too much New Japan, so I don't watch a lot of Naito and a lot of his matches. But one thing I have heard is that he's just, if he doesn't want to have a good match, he just won't have a good match. If he wants to perform, he will perform. And it kind of felt like that in this match. A lot of people have said, like, as of late, he's been really sluggish, and I could kind of see that in this match. There's a few moments where just things didn't feel as smooth as I think they should have been, or they were planning for it to be. But like you said, still a solid match. Definitely wish it was a bit better, and definitely had a lot higher expectation, and it did fall definitely under my expectations. But overall, I kind of did predict Jon Moxley to lose the belt, so kind of glad I got the prediction right. Yeah. But yeah, solid match. And on to the main event, where Swerve Strickland takes on Will Ospreay for the AEW World Champion, which Swerve comes out on top and gets the big win.
Yeah, almost a 30-minute match. Just, I mean, it started off really slow, but as a lot of Will Ospreay matches do, starts off slow, but it picks up really quickly and faster than you probably anticipate. You get lots of hidden blades here, some swerve stomps onto tables, pile drivers onto the fan barricades. Just a lot going on in this match. Some hard-hitting moves. Almost got a tiger driver. Almost got a screwdriver. We almost got Nana getting stabbed with the screwdriver. Just a whole lot going on in this match. I definitely could see people saying this is their match of the night. I think I will stick with Mercedes versus Stephanie, but I could definitely see a lot of people saying this is theirs.
Yeah, this probably is my match of the night, if I'm being honest. Really enjoyed this.
No.
Yeah, one thing I've seen a lot of people give flack for Will Ospreay as of late is just the no-selling, and we didn't really get that tonight. He sold a lot of the moves, besides the end where we had seen a lot of finishers from Swerve, but he kept kicking out at 2 at least. It was like the big 1 kick outs as soon as he goes for the pin, but yeah, I mean, this was a great match. Obviously, this was a really tough one to predict because you kind of thought Will Ospreay's on this huge push where it doesn't seem like he's losing anytime soon, and surprisingly, he did lose. I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe we had a run-in or something like that to happen. But Swerve does come out on top and gets the win. But yeah, that was Forbidden Door 2024. We also got the announcement of Wrestle Dynasty right after Wrestle Kingdom and on the 5th of January. So that's something to look out for as well. We'll have pretty much all the companies represented tonight, and Forbidden Door will also be represented there.
Back-to-back nights at the Tokyo Dome as well, so pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, that would do it for Forbidden Door 2024. Your match of the night was Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie McCurry, and mine was Swerve and Will Ospreay. But yeah, on to the next pay-per-view. We have Money in the Bank next week, along with Heatwave. So we'll be doing predictions for both of those, or definitely Money in the Bank and probably Heatwave. So yeah, make sure to stick around on the channel to watch out for those videos when we post those. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.